My name is Tate, and I'm an Employment Services Coordinator for the Skills and Job Center at Boxall Institute. And today I'll be doing a presentation on future job trends. All right, in this presentation, I'll be touching on these three topics. So that's employment trends and predictions, identifying my transferable skills, and how you can access career support and guidance. Now, I think it's only fair, before I start this presentation, to address the elephant in the room, and that is the impact of COVID-19. Now, research done by SAJC found that 80% of people have had their working situation impacted in some way by COVID-19. I know for myself and people within my circle, that's been the case. And I'm sure many of you watching this webinar today have maybe personally been impacted or know of people who have been impacted. Continuing with the research, they also found that 30% of casual workers and 21% of contractors have been either stood down or lost their employment. So just have a look at the employees from Qantas or Virgin or those who work in the hospitality industry. They also found that 25% of employees are working fewer hours and 7% have had to take a pay cut. Now, all is not doom and gloom when it comes to COVID-19. A survey done by SAJC also found that 60% of the people they surveyed were feeling optimistic about their future, regardless of what's happened with COVID-19. And I'm sure many of you attending this webinar are attending because you yourselves are feeling optimistic. And for those of you who may not be feeling that way, I hope this presentation will bring some light your way. Now, while employment needs of many industries may have slowed down, other industries found that demand had actually increased. For example, within the retail sector or groceries, like your Woolworths, your Coles, your IJ, your Aldi, they found an increase in the demand of their products and services, and therefore they had to hire more people. If you look at the health sector, you found that, again, because of the impact of COVID-19, they had to hire more nurses and doctors, okay? And from this research, they also found that if your job has been impacted by COVID-19, now is the time for you to start thinking about, what to do next. What skills do you have that could be transferred to another job, another industry, or a career change? So, positions in demand. What are these positions in demand? Well, the Australian government labour market predicted these 4 industries as areas of growth by 2023. The first one we have is the healthcare and social assistance, which is predicted to grow by 15%. We then have building and construction, predicted to grow by 9.7%, education and training by 12.2%, and professional, scientific, and technical services by 15.1%. So almost par with the healthcare and social assistance area. So the first area we're going to discuss is the healthcare and social assistance. Now, this is Australia's largest and biggest growing area, okay? It employs over 1.5 million people. The areas in this sector are aged and disabled carer, nurses, dental assistant, allied health assistant, education support, social worker, youth worker, alcohol and other drugs, mental health worker, child protection worker, and home community carers. So I'm going to touch on a few of these industries just to explain to you why these areas are predicted to grow. So the first one I want to touch on is the aged carer. So Australia has a large aging population. So therefore, there's been a high need for services within this area. Just have a look around when you're driving. There have been so many aged care centers being built. And for this reason, they need a lot of people to work in this area. So for example, individual support, formerly known as aged care. If we look at the hospitals, sometimes industries are impacted by an increase in population. So an increased population has found that the health sector or hospitals have had their services needed by more people. Therefore, they've had to expand, meaning they need more nurses or maybe people in allied health assistants. And allied health assistants being people who work in areas such as patient transport, it could be cleaning within the hospital or providing food. And then we also have social assistance. So those of you who've been watching the news may have noticed that the federal and state government have put in a significant amount into these areas for social responsibility. So for example, things like people within domestic violence, or maybe disengaged youth, or for example, child protection workers as well. And then next area is the education and training. Now this area is also a large employer and looks at areas such as early childhood educator, education supports, disability support worker, kindergarten teacher, TAFE teacher, and corporate trainer. Now let's have a look at early childhood educator. Many families have found themselves being forced to return to work early or even just get back into employment, and therefore have needed to put their children into daycares. Again, kind of like aged care, if you look around, there are a lot of new daycare centers being built. I know in Box Hill and Station Street, there are 3 new daycare centers, and that's because there's a big demand for that service within that area. And that again is also I guess impacted by population. So the bigger the population, the more people have children and have to put them into daycare. Another area we talk about is maybe, for example, TAFE teacher. So due to COVID-19, many people have found themselves out of employment and maybe now have to, reskill or upskill. So therefore, I guess enroll in courses, which has resulted in TAFE needing teachers to train people. All right, so the next area we're going to discuss is construction. All right, now construction has always been and still is a large employer. The traditional areas are carpenters, concreters, electricians, gardeners, landscapers, plasterers, and plumbers. Okay, now within the residential construction, that's predicted to slow down due to the impact of COVID-19. However, that's only temporary and will most likely go back to being an area of demand. However, civil construction and commercial construction is an area of demand. The Victorian government have put in $70 billion into the Big Build project. That is 119 road projects that are predicted to be completed by 2027. So we have a look at things like the Metro Tunnel, the Monash Freeway, the M80 upgrade, or the Melbourne Airport Railway line that needs to be done as well. The best way to enter construction most of the time would be through an apprenticeship. And a lot of apprentices, once they finish their apprenticeship after 4 years, will also become self-employed. So maybe for the last 20 years, you may have been doing an office job and feel like you'd like a change of scenery and you'd like to work outside. Construction is a great way to go. And also it's an opportunity for those of you who want to start your own businesses as a way to do that as well. Continuing within the construction industry, I would like to just touch on a bit on building and design, but mainly focusing on sustainable architecture. Sustainability has become an integral aspect of contemporary architecture. So that pretty much means that a lot of people, when building their homes or commercial buildings, are trying to be a lot more environmentally responsible. Okay, that means building buildings that are energy efficient and will reduce the amount of energy consumed on a daily basis. And they've also found these buildings as well that are sustainable also require less maintenance. So one of the courses that we do at Box Hill is the Advanced Diploma in building and design architecture that focuses on sustainability. Another course of ours that looks at sustainability will be our fashion degree. So a lot of the fashion students learn things like upcycling, which means putting designs that where they use recycled material or use a material that's sustainable, so biodegradable. And fashion, even though they mentioned in this presentation, is always going to be an area of demand as people always, I guess, buy clothes. All right, the next area we're going to discuss is professional, scientific, and technical services. Now, this is also a large employing sector and growing quite vastly as well. It employs over 1 million people and is actually due to overtake the health and social assistance sector that I spoke about earlier. Okay, in this area we have accountants, we have bookkeepers, we have cybersecurity experts, we have civil engineering professionals, we have economists and ICT support technicians. And I'll just touch on the first three. So for example, accountants and bookkeepers. Previously, I spoke to you about within the construction industry, how many people within that trade area tend to be self-employed. Well, also within Victoria, I guess within Australia, a lot of people have started to run their own businesses. So the number of small businesses has increased. And for that reason, a lot of these small businesses need assistance with their taxes, hence needing accountants, and also with their bookkeeping, so with the keeping up to date with their books, therefore needing bookkeepers. And then you can have a look at cybersecurity experts. So a lot of companies have now moved online, whether it's for the service for their products or the service that they provide. For example, even here at Box Hill, we're doing blended learning where some of our courses are being done remotely. Okay, unfortunately, with everything moving online, there is an increase for cybercrime. Okay, so hacking. So a lot of employers now require the assistance of cybersecurity experts, therefore a massive boom of employment within this area. All right, so those are the four main sectors predicted to grow by 2023. So now I'm thinking about your career change. I'd like you to have a look at this quote by Steve Jobs. And it says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it out yet, keep looking, don't settle. When people are trying to think about the career change, a lot of times people tend to focus on the skills that they don't have instead of the skills that they do have. And this is where transferable skills comes in. It's also known as portable skills. These are qualities that can be transferred from one job to another. Research done by SAJC also found that employers looked at transferable skills as being more advantageous than just your formal skills. So your transferable skills made you stand out more than just your formal skills. Okay, so transferable skills are any skills you possess that are useful to employers across a variety of, across various jobs, industries, or present your past experience as valuable when applying for a new job or a different industry. So at the Skills and Job Center, our role is to assist you to find what those transferable skills are. But before I get you to that, many of you might be thinking, okay, what is the Skills and Job Center? So the Skills and Job Center is a Victorian government program that was put in place to assist current and prospective students, job seekers, and employers looking to fill their vacancies. At the Skills and Job Centers, we have career consultants who will assist you in giving you advice and information on skills in demand, like the presentation that I've done today. We'll also assist you with information and advice on training. So for example, maybe in this presentation, you've thought, well, I would be interested in doing nursing, but I'm not sure what qualifications are needed. Or maybe I want to enter in construction and do a trade course, but I'm not sure which courses I should do. At the Skills and Job Center, the career consultants can assist you in finding out which courses are best for you based on the career that you want to choose. We also do things like developing your resume. So maybe you've worked in the same industry for more than 10 years or 20 years and haven't had a resume in a long time. At the Skills and Job Center, we're going to assist you to create a resume or update the resume that you currently have. We also do things like one-on-one interview techniques or interview preparation. And when it comes to interview preparation, I always encourage people, I always ask for the question, how many of you are comfortable with interviews? And majority of the time, people tell me, yes, I'm comfortable. When we do the mock interviews, they'll tend to stumble. I myself have been in this industry for more than 10 years. And even though my job predominantly is to do mock interviews, when I do an interview for myself personally, I tend to stumble. Hence, it is important for you to always practice, no matter how comfortable you think you are. We'll also assist you with things like cover letters and key selection criteria. If you haven't done one, we'll teach you how to do one, and also give you information on how to job search. So not just job searching through online with Seek, Indeed, or Jora, but also various ways like such things as cold calling or using your social media platforms, for example, LinkedIn. One of the resources I encourage you to use, the first one being Job Outlook. So Job Outlook is a government website that helps you give you more information about specific industries. So for example, again, let's say you're thinking about working as a nurse, but you're not sure about the industry itself. So Job Outlook will give you information such as the type of salary you'd receive for the specific industry, if the hours are full-time or part-time, what qualifications you need for the industry, if it's an office job, if it's a physical job, as well as the type of environment for that job. So Job Outlook is a great resource for you to use if there's a specific industry you want to work in and you want information there. I also encourage you also to use the skills match on Job Outlook. So before talking about transferable skills, so maybe you know your transferable skills, or you're not sure what your transferable skills are and what it could lead to. So with skills match, what it does is it looks at your current skills and then makes suggestions based on your skills, what type of industries you could possibly work in. All right, so career advice. When it comes to changing careers, I highly encourage you to please seek advice from a career advisor. That is to ensure that when you're choosing your next industry, you have a lot of information about the industry you want to get into. Career advisors are there to assist you to make informed decisions. There's nothing worse than thinking that you want to do a particular course, you enroll in the course, you started, and then realize that it's not what you want to do, but you've already spent the money. So I encourage you, if you're thinking about career change, or there's an industry you're thinking about right now, please speak to a career advisor just to ensure that you're making the correct decision that is best for you. At the Skills and Job Center, we are open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5. Unfortunately, our offices are closed currently on campus because of COVID-19, but that does not mean that we cannot assist you. We can have conversations over the phone. We can do video contact, so if it's using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or WebEx, or if you want to email us, we can do it that way. When it comes to career advice as well, you can have as many appointments as you'd like. So if it takes us 6 appointments to assist you to make the right decision, we'll have those 6 appointments. And most important, this service is free. You don't have to be a Boxer Institute student to gain this service. And even after you're still with Boxer, you can still come and see us. And the information and advice that we'll give you will not just relate to just Boxer courses, but if the course is somewhere else, we'll assist you with information for that as well. So on the screen is our phone number and also email address for you to contact us.
Ready to apply at Box Hill Institute? The first step is to contact us by calling 1300 Box Hill, submitting an inquiry through our website or via live chat. We're here to answer all your questions and ensure we find a course that's right for you. We will email you an application pack, which will include a link to start your application. The application will take about 30 minutes to complete and submit. Make sure you have your ID and your proof of residency handy, such as your Medicare card or your passport, as you'll need to upload a photo of this to your application. As part of the application pack, you may be required to complete a language literacy numeracy profile. This is to ensure that you meet the entry requirements into the course and for us to support you in your studies. The profile will take you around 90 minutes and must be completed in one sitting. The other one is a pre-training review document, which will ask you questions about your interests, your aspirations, your career goals, and your prior study. Once completed, you will need to upload both documents to your online application. Depending on the course that you're applying for, you may be required to submit extra documents, such as a subject selection form, a workplace declaration form, or an under 18 parent/guardian consent form. You may also be required to watch an online information session as part of your course. This will be discussed with you when you inquire. Once your application has been submitted, you may be required to attend an interview or an audition remotely. We will contact you if you're required to do this. After this, our team will be in touch to book an appointment to finalise your application. This appointment will be conducted over the phone, where we will run you through the pre-training review. This will include timetable information, fees, and student support. Once we have finalised your application, we will email you a conditional letter of offer. You'll need to follow the steps to accept your offer online. To finalise your enrolment, you'll need to make payment. There are several ways to do this, such as a payment plan or VET student loan. We look forward to welcoming you to Box Hill Institute.